Hello everyone and welcome to Live. It is our pleasure to have with us today an outstanding television and film actor, Mr. Kevin Sizemore. Hi Kevin, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. How are you doing today?
Absolutely great, thank you. And listen, I would like to talk a bit about your career and how did you start your career in movies?
Well, I grew up in a small town in West Virginia, and if it was offered to me at that time, I didn't really know much about it because I didn't know where I would go to do theater and try to break into television and film. So I ended up going to college in Pittsburgh, and after I went to school there, I kind of fell into the whole movie world kind of behind the scenes as an extra. And then I moved into New York City, and so I was there for a while, and I bounced around and got my feet wet. And I pretty much hit all the states, it felt like, all the way up and down the whole East Coast before I landed in Nashville, and I got my Screen Actors Guild card, and I was in Florida, and I was in the Carolinas doing plays, and I kind of figured out this is what I really wanted to do. And then 17 years I've been in Los Angeles, so it's kind of like I've kind of moved around a lot, so I know a lot of people in a lot of areas now.
During this year, you've been playing Paul Randolph in the very famous TV series Under the Dome, which was produced by Steven Spielberg. And how was that experience for you?
So to be part of Under the Dome was really special for me because it's kind of cool when you can play a character like Paul Randolph, where a lot of people either identify with him because he's such a powerful character, or they identify with him because they don't like him, which is kind of cool. And to be known as one of the most hated men under the dome because of me trying to shoot the dome, yeah, I can take that title. But I just found out last week that now I'm going to have my own Under the Dome trading card, and that's coming out in about 3 weeks, and that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And
well, my son thinks I'm cool because I have a trading card, so that's neat.
There you go. Well, that's the most important thing.
That's it. That's it.
Last year, you were also the protagonist of a movie that really brought out your acting skills greatly, I would say. And the movie was Red Line, which is now available on Netflix. How was that experience for you?
Oh, Red Line was great. What I take away from most of all my films and TV projects, or I try to, is the relationships you have with the cast and the crew. The crew to me are the most important aspect of any project that you work on because, the times where I have the opportunity to run away and do my lines or kind of get into my character, the crew has to be there and do all the work. They're doing all the legwork, and I understand how important that is because I can't do my job without the lighting person or the DP, the camera guy, or the director, or the grips, and all these guys and gals. We all come together, and you're one unit, and you're trying to do a collective effort to make sure you do one project together. And that's where I really noticed that a lot on Red Line. We had a blast. We shot this in San Diego. It was directed by Rob Kirbison. And our lead was Nicole Gell Anderson, who's on Ravenswood right now, and John Billingsley, who's a phenomenal actor who's been around for years. But the collective effort that we had on this film, all the cast members, Joe Williamson and Mark Saul and Kunal Sharma, we all just got it. We were there for the right reasons. No one had the egos. We collaborated. We hung out after we shot. We'd have dinner together, and we became good friends, and we just enjoyed our time together. And it's a good film. It's a really good film. We enjoyed having the opportunity to make it.
Yeah, you are also the protagonist of a movie that is actually a Christmas movie, and it's called A Christmas Tree Miracle. And which actually last month you had a premiere in your hometown. Would you like to tell us something about it?
Yeah, it was great. The Christmas Tree Miracle is a wonderful story about the David George family, and I played David George. And I'm a guy that pretty much has everything. Two spoiled older kids, a young beautiful little kid who believes everything is perfect and everything's great. And she's adorable. And when I lose my job, I kind of take my wife, my family down a horrible path because I'm too prideful to accept a lesser job. Because I think I'm going to do better and I'm going to get there, and it just it keeps going sour. And then next thing you know, we're homeless, we're on the street, and we bump into an eccentric tree farmer played by Terry Kaiser, who a lot of us know as Weekend at Bernie's. He's Bernie. And when we have that encounter with him, a lot of things change in our lives, positively or negatively. You'll see when you watch the movie. But we shot this in my home state of West Virginia. And what was cool is when we did the premiere, we did our main premiere in Wheeling, West Virginia, is where we shot the movie. And the tree farm was in Belmont, Ohio, right over the state line.
Yeah.
And we had the premiere at the Capitol Theater, which was really beautiful. It's the first time a movie's been seen there in 32 years. And the next day, we planned it to go down to my hometown in Princeton, West Virginia. And we did the second premiere at the Chuck Mathena Center. And all the proceeds for that premiere, both premieres sold out over 1,000 people. And the proceeds for the Princeton premiere went to a place called the Princeton Renaissance Project, which is, we're trying to rebuild my downtown and make it better and just trying to make it what it used to be. It's kind of gotten beat up a little bit. And to go into my hometown with my family and friends that I haven't seen since, oh my goodness, 1976, some of them, 78, some of them. My kindergarten teacher was there. I mean, everyone was there. The city officials, the city council. I mean, just you name it, they were there. Mm-hmm. We sold out in 8 days, and we had a blast. It was one of the highlights of my life to be able to go back to my hometown and bring in a film that could not only be a good project for everyone to see, but it was more of a watching movie. We're coming together because it's not a wedding, it's not a funeral, and it's not a graduation. This is a time for us in Princeton to come together and help rebuild downtown and come together and do it as one. And that's what we did, and that's what we're doing again. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going back to speak to the town in January, which is going to be wonderful. We're going to, have a plan and try to make it a better place. Right. And I'm grateful I can be a part of it.
Absolutely. It is great actually to do something for your own community.
Just because I moved away doesn't mean that my heart's not still in Princeton, West Virginia. I mean, that's where I was born. I was raised. I'm proud to be from this small town. Mm-hmm. And, I'm just a country boy living in the city right now. That's pretty much all it is.
Yeah, I totally understand. And listen, is there anything else that you would like to tell actually about A Christmas Tree Miracle? Like where is possible, for example, to watch the movie right now, or where is it available?
Well, the cast members on A Christmas Tree Miracle did a wonderful job. My son was played by a young man named Barrett Carnahan, who's doing wonderful things. My daughter, Emily Capehart, who's just graduating high school this year, and my youngest daughter, Sioma McKinney, who's 7.5, I think, at the time, just is going to steal your heart. She's just a beautiful little redheaded, beautiful little girl. Okay. And my wife was played by Claudia Esposito. And just the unit that we had together, besides Terry Kaiser, of course, who plays the eccentric tree farmer, the unit that we had together was so, we just gelled so well, and we had so much fun. And I think a lot of that was that we're on location, we're outside, and we're in a beautiful area in West Virginia. And, when I found out I got this project, it was because a friend of mine, Tess, who I've known for years, her husband was directing this film. Yeah. And I got a phone call out of the blue, and J.W. Myers pretty much said, hey, we'd like to see you for this role. And they sent me all the materials, and it was written by Ty DiMartino. And when I read his words, my thought process was, my job as a storyteller is to take these words and breathe air into these words and just let them out and see what could happen with this. And it was so natural, and it was so easy. It's so well written. And once I had an opportunity to meet with the producer, Kristen Seibert, everything worked out. It wasn't hard. It wasn't pushed. It wasn't pressed. And it was just an opportunity for us to just to know that we had something special. It's like lightning in a bottle. This small little film has ended up becoming a pretty big deal. Yeah. And Green Apple Entertainment is our distributor, which is great. And you can find it. The easiest way to find it is at www.achristmastreemiracle.com. Mm-hmm. That's if you want to get a hard copy. It's all over the place. If you want to get other hard copies, Amazon.com, and it's Walmart.com, Sears.com. It's all over the .coms. And then if you want to download it to your computer, go to iTunes. You can go to DirecTV. It's on 160 video-on-demand sites. It's wherever you want it, pretty much you can get it. But the easiest way to get it is if you want to buy merchandise as well, it's at ChristmasTreeMiracle.com.
That's great. So directly onto the film website. That's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And what is the difference for you between acting for film and for television? Like, how do you prepare yourself for a character?
Well, I mean, if it's a drama, I really don't prepare myself any differently because it's just, with television, you're bouncing around, and sometimes you have the opportunity to keep it more consistent because you're shooting a smaller schedule. With film, you might have a 3-week shooting schedule, and you might shoot the ending of the movie on day 2 and the beginning of the movie on day 13. Yeah. So you just got to really stay on top of where you are and where you're coming from in the scenes and where you're going, because you want to make sure that your flowing of the character is consistent instead of you being all over the place. Now, if you're doing comedy, it's completely different because it's quicker. Comedy's faster, quicker. You know, you got to stay on top of your game. But if we're talking dramas, I really don't prepare any differently. I just attack the character and just go into it based on what's happening now, where am I going, and what am I doing. That's pretty much how I prepare.
I see. You won Best Supporting Actor at the 168 Film Festival for HEARTFALL, in which you played opposite to your son Gunnar, who was nominated for Best Actor. And at the same festival, you have been awarded Best Actor for Useless as well. What do you enjoy about film festivals or awards?
Well, this one in particular, the 168 Film Festival, it's a Christian film festival where you take a Bible verse and you have 4 or 5 days to write a script based on a Bible verse. So maybe it's all about hope. The whole festival it's about hope. So the producers pretty much stick their hand in a hat and they pull out a Bible verse, and whatever Bible verse you get, you have to write your story based on hope, and it might be Matthew 7:12.
Yeah.
Okay, so your interpretation of that scripture has to come around and be about hope. You have 4 or 5 days to write that script. Then you put your team together and you have 168 hours once you start rolling your camera to shoot, edit, score, the whole 9 yards, and it has to be turned in on the nose before 168 hours or you're disqualified from the competition. And John Ware is the executive director of the 168 Film Festival. And you know what's intriguing to me about it, it's a challenge first and foremost. And any opportunity I get to work with my son, I've got to take it, because I don't have many of those years left before he's grown up. And now we have all these opportunities that we work together on film, and it's captured forever. And I've got that.
Yeah.
But you know, you don't get the opportunity to put out great projects a lot. And what I mean by great projects is something that the family can watch. And I know with all the projects on the 168, the families can watch them. They're all short films, and that's fine. But your families can watch them. And that's why I'm so proud of, you know, Christmas Tree Miracle. And that's why I'm so proud of Redline. These are family films. Now, Redline has a little bit of blood in the beginning of it, but the language, it's all fine for kids and families. And Christmas Tree Miracle is just it's a film that you can take your grandmother to, who's 95, and you can take your 7-year-old child to. And you want to bring people together. And I'm really passionate about doing good projects where everyone can see it, because there's so many projects out there that's kind of, you know, it's rough to watch, you know, and I like to make sure that families can see everything.
Which role is a family in your life, and how is to work with your son Gunnar?
You know, you really can't put a price tag on something like that, because seeing him do what he loves to do, and he really enjoys it, and to be a part of it, not necessarily always on the same shot, but just being around it and seeing it from, you know, the wings, and seeing him do his thing. Like, he just did a play this week that I was able to be a part of, just to help him out a little bit. I didn't direct it, but I was just there to help if needed. And to see these kids, I mean, kids are amazing actors because they're so pure and they're so honest. And it's kind of funny because I do learn a lot from watching this little guy because he's so talented. And to be able to have an opportunity to share the screen with him is just, it really is priceless.
So you have recently wrapped Resurrection, which is a series that will be on ABC on the 9th of March, 2014.
Yeah, and it comes on at 9 o'clock Sunday nights, right?
Yes. And what can you tell us about this new series and your character, of course, you know, the things that you can tell us?
Yeah, Resurrection is about a small town in Arcadia, Missouri, and there's a young boy who is found in China, and no one knows his name, no one knows anything about him. All they see is his name is tagged in the back of his shirt. So Federal Agent Omar Epps from House brings this young man, and you know they don't know what to do with him. And finally, he just looks at him and says, you know, where do you live? And the kid won't speak, but he writes the name of the city, Arcadia, on his phone, and he says, if I take you there, will you help me find your house? And he does. And when he goes into the house, he knocks on the door, and all of us know Kurtwood Smith from that 70s show and Francis Fisher from Titanic, and the parents open the door, and Omar pretty much says, I found the kid you've lost. And the guy goes, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, my kid died 32 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then he looks over and he sees this little boy, and he comes up and hugs him, and he realizes that is my son that died 32 years ago, and he's come back 32 years later, the same age he was when he died.
Oh.
Oh. The town in Arcadia, Missouri is freaking out, and I play Gary Humphrey, and I'm one of the church members of the town, and I'm not necessarily on board with having this kid come back 32 years later. And, you know, we're all trying to figure out what do we do and how do we handle this situation. And that's what happens in Resurrection, so we're trying to figure it out as we go along.
And of course, you know, we look forward to watch the series as soon as it will be out. And yeah.
Not only is it a wonderful series, I tell you, the writing, this is the first project that I've ever been involved in that the writing is stellar from the beginning to the end. You just can't stop. For me, I couldn't stop reading the pages. And all of our directors are Emmy Award-winning directors, and it's a phenomenal cast. And Matt Craven and Mark Hildreth, and it's a wonderful team of people. Mm-hmm. And I think my episode starts up. I make my first appearance on episode 3, and you'll see me kind of do some fun stuff all throughout the rest of the series.
Very well. Your next film will be also Can I Get a Witness Protection, and will be out in spring 2014. Can you tell us anything about it?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be screening it in about 2.5 weeks because I haven't seen it all the way through as a full final. It's a comedy. It's a ensemble group. It's very funny. It's a little bit over-the-top slapstick a little bit as well. Directed and written by Bob Lee. He's a comedian, which helps, you know, because he's got the timing, he knows what he wants, and you guys deliver it that way, so it makes sense. It's just a fun story that every age group can come and see this, and they're going to laugh a lot. Can I Get a Witness Protection is going to be a very funny project, and I'm looking forward to seeing it myself, which is good. When the actors want to see it, that means it's going to be pretty decent.
Absolutely. Tell us about your future projects. Anything else boiling in the pot?
Yeah, I have a few things. My next main goal is to take a movie back to Princeton, West Virginia. That's my hometown, and when I saw how the town responded when we brought A Christmas Tree Miracle there and how it just lit everyone up because it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a film like that in my town so they could see it from the groundwork all the way up and see it kind of grow into fruition of something that's beautiful and they had a hand in it. So that's kind of what we're thinking about doing, and we're looking at scripts, and I'm going back there in 3 weeks to talk to some people, and yeah, that's my main focus right now. It's getting back and doing that, and now we're going to start hitting the pavement running here because pilot season's coming up in the next few weeks, so it's going to be a busy time here.
Yep. I'm really delighted for you. I would like to remind our followers that they can follow you on Twitter at Kevin Sizemore. That's your Twitter handle. And also, you know, they can keep up to date, you know, with your future projects in this way, and also on your Facebook page as well. I would like to remind as well that, you know, it is absolutely worth it to, you know, your movie, which is out now, A Christmas Tree Miracle, because it's a beautiful Christmas movie, and, you know, really full of family values, and, you know, that's absolutely amazing. And I want to thank you, Kevin, you know, for being with us today. It is absolutely a pleasure to talk with you.
I'm happy to have the opportunity to hang out with you. I know we've had a chance to say hi a few times, and I appreciate it. So thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks for telling everyone about Christmas Tree Miracle. I think if you have a lot of people who like family films, it's great, and you know, get it right before the holidays. It's a great stocking stuffer. So go to ChristmasTreeMiracle.com or just grab it on iTunes.
Absolutely, and you know, I take the chance also, you know, to say Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, you as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.